Welcome to this segment of AKT Celebrity Reads. I'm your host, Alexis K. Tyler. I'm going to do a brief reading on a woman that I consider incredible, amazing, a beautiful woman, a beautiful human being. I haven't talked to her in a while. This is Tiffany Christmas and her friend Kat. Tiffany was murdered. Hey, babies, I love you all. I love you all so much, and I'm so honored to still be alive and be here. And I appreciate the people that love me, support me, and have been with me through some of the most difficult times in my life and have been better to me than blood relatives. And especially seeing people leave the planet, physically leave the planet, and they're not physically ready to go, and they're very young still. Because to me, she was 42. To me, you just hitting your stride. You in your prime when you're 42 years old. I just put a picture there because I always thought she was a beautiful girl. And her and her friend Kat. I briefly spoke to Kat. I appreciate Kat talking to me, Mina to reach out to her. And she responded. She said they've been friends since they were 13, 12 or 13 years old. And it's really difficult for her to deal with losing her best friend. So they've known each other for 30 years. And I asked, out of respect, because like I said, they knew and they still know this lady who has been stalking and harassing me and my son, Jamila Briscoe, since 2014, had been talking to my son when he got out of prison in 2013. And he's like 10 years younger than her, harassing him behind my back, then contacted me, told me, this is like 2013, that she wanted to have a sexual relationship with my son. And she wanted my blessing. I would not give my blessing because I could look in this lady's eyes and tell that she was psychologically thrown off. And I asked her to back off, to leave my son alone. And then I spoke to him because he was grown. And I said, is this what you want to do? Do you like her? You want to fuck her? And my son said, no. He said, but she keeps emailing me. That's when he had a Facebook group called Ratchetville, because my son's real wild and crazy and silly like me. And he raps. For y'all don't know, De Niro Red. You can type in De Niro, like Spanish money. De Niro Red featuring Alexis K. Tyler. You can see me on a video with my son called Arrogant, because I knew my child was going to get back locked up and get in trouble. And I wanted to have something out here behind to watch of me and him together. Because, rappers, how young people are and younger men, they usually don't want their mama in the video. Their mothers are like square. But everybody, all the young people thought, your vagina powers your mama, Alexis K. Tyler. Oh my God, that's so cool to have Alexis K. Tyler in your video. So they loved it. The young people loved it and went crazy. You can see it on my page, or just type in thank you. Oh, mother. Thank you. I love that. I like mother better than aunt. Don't call me your aunt, honey. Mother. Somebody call me MUVA, mother or mother. I love that. I can deal with that. Okay. To me, a mother's more powerful than an aunt because she's the creator of all things. We have a lot to get into. Did you all look at the video I uploaded earlier? It was about 8 minutes long at the altar. I was giving a brief reading at the altar. That altar is very chaotic right now. It's a lot of conflict on the altar because there are a lot of physically dead people that are yet alive, Christian and Southern Baptist. I don't know why is it all these Southern roots people, like I said on that reading at the altar earlier today. It doesn't matter if you were born in California, Mexico, Germany, England, Africa, Middle East, your Southern roots are calling you. All these people with Southern roots and Indigenous, the real Indians, the first ones, so-called black folks, black Indians that also have African roots and connected to African tribes and Middle Eastern tribes that are here in the Georgia mountains, Tennessee mountains, Mississippi, the original native, the indigenous person and the Native American, I realize that's different. The native one would have what? Some of the Asian and some of the European blood that came over from the Bering Strait or Eskimo. But some of them have black blood, so-called black blood in them as well. The indigenous ones, the so-called darker one, they tried to mix in with the black one or saying it's black or it doesn't exist. That's the original one to the land. Not all them so-called blacks are not slaves, were not imported over here with Christopher Columbus and it was white people here first. That's a lie. A lot of our ancestors are not slaves. You know, we were born here. We were not born from descendants of slaves. Many of us are indigenous people, the original Native American, so-called Indian. That's what we are. And these people know who they are that are coming in here that you would think would be a black man. Is they know they have a mother or a grandmother that's half Indian, so-called Indian, or straight up indigenous that owned this land, that lived in the mountains all over the United States and lived deep within them. These people keep telling me they are mountain dwellers. Now, you all can correct me if you can't find this history. They were here first, and this is like Egypt and Africa, like an extension of it. From here to overseas, you think all these people are separate. They are not. And they were married. They were having children together. They were trading together. But these ones here that have black and indigenous blood in them, or half black and half Indian, they're telling me they were in the North Georgia mountains. They were in the Appalachia. They were in the Tennessee mountains. These people where they totally erase your history or hide your history. They didn't erase it they just erased it from us. They know who you are. These women, they're doing rituals right now. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with Georgia? What's going on with all these southern states where these people keep coming in here to my house? There's a whole bunch of my side, and some of them are different races or mixed race as well. So these are southern whites that were under so-called blacks that were enslaved by blacks. But at the same time, they didn't mind the slavery. They didn't run because they were not beaten and abused and raped. They were having families and children and land over here in Georgia, different parts of Georgia and rural parts of Georgia. And some of these white land owners had slaves that they were kind to. They didn't just use and fell in love with them and gave them property. And that caused problems with white women they were married to because they were giving this to the indigenous, the so-called black Indian. They were giving it to them and having children with them. How do I know? Because my grandmother even told me these stories. This was happening in our family, and there was no racism, even though some of them might have owned slaves and owned property, and they were Dutch because they were saying, my grandmother was telling me it's a lot of Dutch in my family on my mother's father's side. So some of this I know to be true in my family, and being from Georgia, and they're telling you you're just black. That's not true. Okay. If these people looked so different and they were so different, why did whites then combine blacks with so-called Native Americans, the original indigenous ones? Some were dark with long, straight, black, silky hair, wavy hair, kinky hair, curly hair, like so-called black people. And then some of them that did have African in them, it gets a little bit confusing to me. Because sometimes you see them in these black families. You see them mixed in, and white folks say, oh, that's just a black person. Because they control the classification. Whoever wins history, even though they take it and brutalize the innocent, whoever's in control of the history, white writes what they want to write. Say what they want to say, and then hide the truth. These are a mixture of who's in my house. They are, okay, let me, because I'm trying to see like where the fuck is this going? Because you keep being in Georgia. So you keep fucking with me down here, goddamn it, in all these flatland states, and you're talking about flooding, tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes, rainstorms are coming, and they're inside of the mountain. Now, if y'all could correct me, I'm willing to be corrected because I haven't read this. This is what they're saying. They're saying the original Native American so-called black folks lived high up in the north side of town, North Georgia, and even southern. I got to look on the map to see where they are, where the mountains are. They lived in the mountains. They didn't just live on flat ground. They controlled and dominated the mountains, as well as different parts of Georgia. Oh, well, it was all belonging to us. All these states were belonging to us until white folks came and took it. Okay. And enslaved the people. But I think it looked like we had a form of indentured servitude first. They didn't do it to us first. You know, we were doing it to each other in Africa. We were doing, and they were willing to do it. And Moorish, the Moors are here that were never enslaved and bound by any, that were freemen. They're also coming up here. I'm seeing buffalo, like they didn't have cows to eat. They had buffalo, and they were in tune with the land. Okay, they're telling me there are, do I want to say that, hell gates as well as heaven gates? There are a whole bunch of portals that have opened up in Georgia because of the murdering and the conflict and the false doctrine of religion. And a lot of the violations of so-called blacks, but definitely the blood of the Native American, our ancestors here. And they're showing the military, the government, and the laws they use to split up the land and take it from our ancestors to create these laws to prohibit us. Because you see, they have the dolls rolls. That's the 5 cent or 10 cent Indian, the white one, really, that pretend to be the original indigenous one that is not. And then block you out from getting the casino money and all the wealth of the money and say that you're not Indian, you're a nigga. See, this is what is, hey, J Love, hey, everybody. I'm not looking down, because I'm trying to study what you said. T. Tucker, this is fact. My family went through this as well. Okay, thank you. You have the Georgia called Wrightsville. Wow. Yes, it's important to know your histories. It came from Pangea, tectonic plate shift, the split land into continents. What is the end of the argument of white and black? I don't know about that, Bob, and I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to say it's just one. That's not true, because it couldn't be just, yes, the human race, yes, but every ethnic group being the same genetically, that hasn't been proven. We don't even look the same or act the same or believe the same. So that's kind of something. I'm not going to go there with that. But if you have proof of that, show it. But nobody has proven that at this point. We're all human, yes. But you're trying to say that everybody is just one ethnic group or one. You know what? I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm not going to speak on what I don't know. But at the same time, yes, you're right. Her fixed Sion about Genghis Khan. I was told the same thing. The way they described him, sounded like he had some black in him. Genghis Khan. Yeah, I don't. That's one thing I don't argue about. I don't argue about race or none of that shit. I ain't got time for it. I don't argue with politics, religion, and race. You have the right to believe what you want, think what you want. Wasn't she a sweetheart? LA, Real Game Radio. I love Tiffany. She never disrespected me. Her or Kat never disrespected me. They tried to help me. Okay, yes, thank you. I'm glad Mina's here. You said, Aaliyah, I've learned that I have indigenous ancestry, but as far as I can tell, my parental side of the family, that's Texas. Yes, Texas is included in this, baby. Southern, low lying. Do they have any mountains in Texas or any Indian mounds? Look at where your people come from and see if there are Indian mounds in any of the places they came from, your ancestors, because you need to go visit the mounds. You need to talk to them because they're very upset now and they walk in the planet. They showing me 3 gates, 3 levels of opening of portals in Georgia. One has a skull and bone on it. I see that. The other one is in the mountains full of water. It's raining and it's storming. It's a vortex in the Georgia mountains. So that showed me bad weather and catastrophes is coming worldwide and different parts and flooding in the United States. Problems with different cars and trucks and them shutting down. I mean, I'm here in Spain. I'm here in Europe. There's going to be a catastrophe. Why? Because it's supposed to be. They just showed me the book of knowledge, the book of secret science, the book of names. This is one of them. This is an Indian woman up in the Georgia mountain on the north side. She talking to me. She showing me it's storming down in the mountain. The mountain got about 10 floors on the motherfucker. Down going underground where I see hieroglyphs in Georgia look like a damn statue of King Tut in the motherfucker underground in the mountain in Georgia. It's a whole Egyptian city underground in the mountain in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also seeing reptilian beings running around down there, ET and flying saucers, which they released. She showed me drones done came up from 10 floors going out. Oh, have anybody seen any drones in Georgia? I wanted they release here because she's showing them to me. Okay, you all need to go. And I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking about people that have that blood in them. And you know some of your relatives physically died, but they got it in them and you could see it in that picture. They did DNA and tried to say black folk was lying. They said all these black folks said they got an Indian grandmama with long black silky hair down to her waist so she can sit on it. That's a lie. It's not a goddamn lie because I got a picture of my mother's father's parents. She's sitting right there. Her husband looked like an old white man. And the grandmother looks like an Indian, got her hair down on her thigh. I got the picture. They'll try to tell you, she just black and you know that's a goddamn lie. You know, they don't want to give you you. Give me me. Now it doesn't matter because they taking it. And that's the thing is, they just said Robitussin, take your cough syrup, take your medicine, because I'm going to give it to you whether you like it or not. They talking to people in your family and they talking to you. If you've been out of order, you've been out of pocket, you've been disagreeable, you've been disobedient, and you have not spoken to these people, maybe some of you didn't know. The ones that are waking up because they pick you and you don't have the control of it, they'll pick you and speak to you, and they'll also speak to you by telling you, get your motherfucking self together. Get your life right. So they can move through you and balance you, and then you help to balance them because they physically dead but out of balance. So that's one level I see that's toxic and hazardous with the skull and bone, where these portals in Georgia is open right now. These gates of heaven, gates of hell. And these portals were put in place to create some type of toxic warfare, like poisoning people, sickness and illness in Georgia right now is open. Babies and adults, because the children will suffer the sins of the parents and of the mother. They showing this in jail. Some of y'all pregnant, got niggas in jail. Some of y'all pregnant, done slick and had so many goddamn it abortions. Goddamn it now. That's your body. You do what you will. But I'm telling you, what I'm seeing on the other side, these babies know. These babies are aware. They know what you done. They know the agreement. They know you violated the agreement to bring them through. But you chose another nigga because that seemed most stable. And I get it. Because I raised a child myself and caught hell. Who wants to go through that without having a provider in your life? But I'm still glad I did it. Because that was clearly an agreement that I had, even though my dirty ass birth mother and my grandmother and them were bad mouthing me to the baby dad and every man they met that really could have been good to me. They didn't want that life for me. And my mother admitted and made it very clear, if I didn't have it, you ain't gonna have it. But my mother was always married and had men to take care of her, but she didn't want that for her daughters. And she has to pay for that. But see, even though I went through hell and I paid for a lot of debts I didn't even motherfucking owe. I paid for sins that I never motherfucking committed. I'm still not worried about that shit because people impose that on their children. They must pay for this shit. But see, one thing I don't have to pay for is getting rid of a motherfucking child. My child has been one of my difficulties and have made me so fucking mad so many times. If I could go back and choose right now, I would make different decisions and I wouldn't fuck with my family. But to say I would get an abortion, the answer would still be motherfucking no. Because I know based on the type of energy I have and the being I have. Now, a lot of you may have spiritual permission to do that based on the DNA you have or the level of spirituality that you have. The spiritual sect that I'm from, I'm not allowed to do those things. I'm not allowed to have sex with every kind of man. As many times I have to go years and be celibate to get my life right and get in order to do what the spirit say for things to come to me. Lord have mercy, we got so much to go over. Okay, so that's 2 levels. I got on the skull and crossbone is the one spiritual portal that's wide open right now. You're going to see a lot of people getting sick in Georgia. Upper respiratory. I have tried to tell y'all this before. Just groups and in certain areas just breaking out, busting out, and children not being able to endure these infections, these upper respiratory breathing, because they're so small. Right? That skull and crossbone or some kind of chemical spill or radiation leak or chemical leak. Remember, we just had one in Conyers in August, September, October. It's something else like that, or that probably is not completely gone. Something else, I'm seeing train, railroad track, Harriet Tubman again, which will represent things going on underground that's going to be revealed. Okay, so those are the 2 levels. The first one, the skull and crossbones. Second one, she told me raining and all types of catastrophe dealing with water. That's the second level open in Georgia, and snow, which will still be water. She's showing me up in Alaska and Antarctica. The storms will be from there in the North Pole or near it and all the way down to the dirty motherfucking South. And all the flat plains and southern regions first. I don't know why, but it looked like they control everything. Georgia and the southern plains. There's a third level that shows me the military and checkpoints with federal officers joining state polices and atomic dogs in Georgia. They finna lock this motherfucker down. Starting here and going all the way out. Because that, she said, was in the book when our ancestors sold us out. The dirty ones and the dirty Moors and the dirty natives and the dirty Africans, goddammit, for pennies of gold. Or so-called influencers say they self and end up getting their goddammit throat cut. Once they sold their people out and sold the land out and set them up. That, she said, cannot be stopped. And she's showing me big military trucks and checkpoints that you're not going to be able to shake. Drones, computers. Somebody just sent me a video, goddammit, said Skylink is online. They showed the video where the scientist was talking about it, just like coming up on they said we're coming up on the 30th year anniversary of the Terminator. And which that would tie to Elon Musk, this Skylink, which will be monitoring everything and everybody down here and up in space, and their precious beloved new humanoid being. That's the new creation of they God under Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel. Okay, so this is what's on that altar right now. And these are the spirits there. I hope y'all got your altar set up at home and your candle lit. Like I told you, you're welcome to have one here every week. I don't mind. I don't mind passing the messages. I love passing the messages. I'm honored that they're here. I'm honored that the Native Americans are here because I have a lot of them in my family from Georgia. And they're coming up from the other dimension in the skies. Now, I'm going to get into this later. I need to get into Tiffany. But let me tell you something I noticed. This just came to me a couple of days ago. Some told me to make a dog formula to disinfect underneath the claws, the paws that y'all let go outside and use the bathroom outside. They tracking stuff in and parasites and germs from other dogs inside. They might have an irritated paw as well as the cats. That's good if you don't let your animals go outside, but you still want to make sure they're clean. But the ones that do, because they can pass things to babies and children, especially they licking you in the face and in the mouth, and they around the kitchen and the food, and they shedding, those parasites and skin become airborne, and you have absorbed them. So the dog is what, like the best friend of a man. See, we got to look. I looked at that. I said, damn, that just came to me a couple of days. The dog and the cat. I have to go back to spirituality, and I have to see what that is. If anybody can do it for me right quick, I'm going to find it later as well and break down the anatomy of the dog and the cat. Can anybody look and see what is the Native American? I know there are different groups of them. Native American, or put a totem pole for dog and cat, because I'm going back to Sekhmet, Baset, and the god Ra, and I'm going to the constellation of Sirius, which would be the dog star. I Googled it. I couldn't believe what the fuck I found. Do you realize in December, this is one of the periods during the winter period in the United States, that you can see Sirius, the dog star Sirius, very brightly, which will tie to me making this formula for a dog, which is the man's best friend, and tying into them. The sacred dog usually comes up as the black dog, Sirius. The dog star, that's December. I think it was around Christmas Day. And then dealing with the cat. Since they told me to start off with the cat, the dog, the horse, and the rabbit. Right now, the most popular one, then again, let me take that back. I know a lot of people got rabbits and they got horses, but this is the quickest one, since we have our model Pepper with his little pretty self. We got the cat on board. And that's they have a very sacred meaning, because as you see, this is when I was given the formula in December. Let me see. Can you see Sirius in the northern hemisphere? It says Sirius is visible from almost everywhere on Earth except latitudes north of 73 degrees north. Can you see Sirius in winter? Sirius is the brightest star we can see from Earth, other than the sun, of course. It's part of the constellation called Canis Major. So we know that's dealing with a dog. During winter, can be seen low in the sky after sunset in the west. They said, is it rare to see it? People ask the question. They said Sirius is highly visible in the northern hemisphere's winter night sky. When did this come to me? In the winter, in December. They said, what is the brightest star in the northern hemisphere? Star Arcturus. Because Sirius is seen when looking towards the south, the orange star Arcturus earns the distinction of being the brightest star in northern skies. So let me see. Sirius star in December. Because I had seen it, but it's on this phone I'm on, so I can't open it while I'm talking. They said Sirius, yes, it's highly visible in the northern hemisphere's winter night. So right now, we can see it brightest now. They said, as seen from around the world, Sirius rises in the mid-evening in December. By mid-April, Sirius is setting in the southwest in the evening. So see, we need to look at this because we're dealing with the dog star, since they would bring me this information on how to treat conditions in the dog and the cat, which would be the Egyptian, also bass. Let me see. It was something I was looking for, but it's in the other phone that I'm on. December, something 2024. Let me see. says, okay, New Year star Sirius and 2 planets ring in 225. As 224 ends and 225 begins, Earth just passed between Jupiter and the Sun. On December the 7th, they're showing Mars, Jupiter. So Jupiter's bright right now, Mars and Sirius. And it's showing January 1st. So we got to deal with a opening of 2025. And they say, want to entertain your friends on New Year's Eve? Show them the New Year star Sirius, the brightest star in Earth night sky. The star always reaches its highest point in the sky around the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. And in 225, Sirius will have company. It'll be joined by 2 extra bright planets, Jupiter and Mars. So look at your sign and see, is it ruled by Jupiter or Mars? Sirius also has the nickname the Dog Star because it's part of the constellation Canis Major, the greater dog. It's a noticeable sight in our sky every evening during the northern hemisphere winter, southern hemisphere summer. But its midnight culmination, its highest point in the sky, is at midnight. It always comes around New Year's Eve. Remember, that's a few days away. And it's up bright right now. And this year's Jupiter, Mars, and Sirius will provide a triple whammy. Jupiter, Mars, and Sirius will provide a triple whammy in brightness. You can look for this trio at any time. Now you see this here, and you can see this on YouTube too. I didn't know when they came in here a couple of days ago and told me to do this. So me and Mina have been working on this whole weekend, getting this together. Let me see. Cat Goddess, December 24. What goddess is associated with cat? We'll deal with the goddess Baset, the female goddess Baset. Let me see. Yep, December 2024. This is because it's something, there's a celebration day in December for the Egyptian cat goddess. Who is the cat goddess today? It is still the goddess. She's also known as the goddess of the moon and was thought to be the eye of the moon, the eye of Ra, which is what she also told me to tell you. You want to, if you got cats, you want to put these cats on your altars and these statues up there. And you want to, if you don't have one, get a evil eye protection necklace and get you an eye of Ra necklace to put on for protection, because we dealing with Sirius dog star. And if you got a telescope, if you can see that, we want to look at that, and our ancestors are in that dog star, Sirius A, Sirius B. I don't know if it's a Sirius C, but that's what we dealing with now. What they said, Jupiter, Mars, and Sirius. We need to deal with this right now because that's where we at right in the month of December. Okay, you want to be very good to that cat right now. But you also want to deal with these Egyptian goddesses because they are protection. And they speak to you. It's just amazing to me. That when I deal with these 2 main animals here, I'm seeing that in December, dealing with Sirius the dog star, that's the highest in December, and dealing with the cat, there was a date to celebrate the goddess Baset in December. Let me see. December celebration day for Baset. December 224. It's amazing how these, like I say, when I'm doing something, I just follow the spirit. It'll come up. Wait a minute. Goddess Bast. Let me see. Something I'm missing or typing in wrong. Cat goddess. December 2024. Because they showing it up here. Athena, cat goddess, wise kitty. They deal with wisdom and the life. They deal with creativity. Baset. Cat goddess. Baset. Give me a minute, y'all. Holiday. December. Because I had seen it on the other phone. Like, why is it hard to look up on this phone? Even if you have your altar or you wear a symbol of, especially if you own a cat, that is that spirit speaking to you. Especially if you have, you feel a connection going back to Egypt. And this is speaking to you, but I'm telling you, Egypt was also here in the United States. It's speaking to you. You can get the statues of her. And Baset, they're saying, the goddess of cats, Bastet, may have had her beginnings in the Libyan desert because Baset is affiliated with Isis. She becomes the soul of Isis, which would be the mother. Yet, as a goddess, and she's a goddess of music and dancing. Baset is related with Hathor and Sistrum, which may bear one of their characteristics is their worship object. So, and it mentions the Bible here. Pre-Bast, modern Bubastis, the Delta-based cult deity of Baset referred to in the Bible as what Pibset, Ezekiel 30:17. The name of Baset, which translates as woman of the base, jar or special jar, holds perfumes associated with her festival. She has the beloved cat goddess of the Egyptian, and she's referred to as the goddess of the north. Okay. So when I looked up those, and I said, why would I get those now? Now it makes sense to me. I said, holiday in December. I'm glad I'm coming by this for you all that are interested in this, that have the cat. Because, let me see. Cat. Goddess. Holiday in December 2024. Here it is. They said celebrated on the 25th of December and the 7th of January. Oh, no, that's Christmas twice. I think Baset, the cat goddess, December 25th. Merry Christmas. So her celebration is around Christmas Day. If y'all can find something else, tell me. When I said, look, you saying Las Vegas, I said the whole U.S. It's not just one city over another. Athena, goddess, Sunday 22nd. So if you want to do offerings and put it up there, you can, because this is the time to do it. They said October, November, December. We're right here at Christmas on a few days after it, and they're saying this is the time period and the time period, okay, for the Dogon, now I don't know, for some reason the Dogon are coming up to me. Let's see what comes up. I think that's right. The Dogon star, I think, is Sirius. Yes, the Dogon people are up. They said they reported that the Dogon believe that the brightest star in the night sky is Sirius. That's why the Dogon are coming to me. So I got to see what else. You see how this stuff is tying together. Happy birthday, pretty Tiffany Blocks. Happy birthday, babe. So I'm making it during this season. I'm never disobedient to the spirit. And I see why now. Because I'm in the period dealing with the brightest star, Dogon. The Dogon, and dealing with the Sirius constellation, Canis Major, Canis Minor, which will be the goddamn K9, and the cat goddesses, which would also be celebrations in December. She said, Aaliyah, you said I recently had to have one of my fur babies euthanized. Oh no, there's no way. Oh, black Labradors, ain't they pretty? The black Labradors with the gold ones and the retriever, they kind of look the same to me now. Yoshi, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? If Yoshi didn't want to leave, you need to get one that looks just like it during this period and bring it back. So this is our ancestors and yeah, we know about the Mayans. And there are different groups of them. They're the European and the Indian Mayan, the white skin one, and the original one, the indigenous one, the darker one, as you know, and the one that has African blood in it as well, the original one, before they tried to whitewash it and enslave it and deny it, the black Mexican. They try to hide those like the black Asian, okay? So that's why I wanted to explain it in case you all didn't know. I'm looking at the time these formulas came to address the dog and address the cat. So I see I'm in right alignment. I'm not crazy. During the period, they telling me to do this here. So I'm going to go on and finish it, which I ain't going to be finished for a minute, but at least the basic one and dealing with the anatomy of it and the body odor, because some cats won't let you put no water on them. They'll fight you about it. And you'll get fucked up unless you cut their damn claws off or declaw their damn ass. But they will take a spray or they'll take a powder. If you rub it on them, you might get them to be still to do that, but not no soap with no soap suds. And you'll have a hell of a time trying to wash a cat that don't want you to wash it with water. So we have another way to get their goddamn ass, see, so they won't be around here stinking. Those are the messages, yes, and they saying you need to burrow down in the earth. If you in southern states, you need to be, hopefully you got trees already in your yard. You need to take your crystals right now, put them down in your yard as we move into the new years that deal with prosperity, uncrossing, psychic self-defense. Bury them in your yard. Where your tree at? I want y'all to make the argon muffins. Get the argon. You can look up how to make argon on YouTube. You want to plant them in the four corners of the outside of your house. You want to leave some of your crystals out there in the moon and then put it, take them out whenever you lay it to, whatever day or time, how many days, 3, 6, 9, it's up to you. And you can actually have them in the window so the moon can hit them. You can have it where the sun can hit them. You can sit out there and meditate and have them near your nuts and near your vagina, like in a velvet pouch or bag or something, so you can put them there or get your waist bead or something and tie them around your waist or string for the men and vibrate on what you want to manifest and pull all that energy out of the ground, deep within the earth, especially if you live near some water. You want to pull that up out of there, go into the crown, up into the universe, to tap into the planets that are bright now in your horoscope planet. Pull that energy back down, and also with the sun, the moon, the stars. You can yo-yo it up and down, based on how you feel. Then you want to you can put your crystals, take your bath, your salts, whatever salts you like, along with boiling you some herbs to add to it. Ooh, that's a hell of a thing right now. Y'all, they saying get charged up. And if you got a spiritual sexual partner, y'all have spiritual sex right now to manifest what you want to bring in. Okay. You know what? I might need to cut this off and just redo a show for Tiffany, because I've gotten so far down into this. I haven't really addressed her yet. So, like I said, it's up to you. If that's what you read on, and you can actually Google uncrossing herbs, and that's what you want to do, it's not a consultation for me. So don't ask me to do that. You're an individual. I don't know who you are. One size does not fit all to me. So I'm not going to tell you all to do the same bath, the same thing, because I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know who you are. I don't have any of your info. So I'm going to let you, like I just said, let your spirit tell you. Let you lead that. Think for yourself. Unless y'all donate for that type of show, I'm not finna get into that. You donate, I'll do it. I gladly fucking do it. But I give so much and y'all don't get no donation or something that, and I'm just tired of it, and I'm not gonna do that no more. And I'm not gonna go into the next year doing that. I'm always giving you shit, and you know that. I'm gonna go out of here. And just one bath and one candle is not gonna help you, especially when I'm seeing death at the altar. And how some of y'all finna lose some loved ones that's been sick, that's been abused, that's let people victimize their whole life, old folks home, and some younger people. And y'all need to deal with these babies that you aborted or that came out stillborn that you dealt with, because they are mad about that shit. And so they're going to fuck up your relationship. They're going to fuck up your womb. And they're going to fuck with your children. So all of a sudden a child dies in a freak accident and everybody else in the car and the truck is alive. But that one particular one, it's the reason that one was took. And sometimes the mothers don't want to admit it's because of their own fucking sin. I did not know that until that child told me that today. He said, yeah, well, we're going to start picking them off. And that's why, and they started talking about this lady talking about a bitch. Said her mama was a bitch because she got rid of her, but you liked this other nigga over me and my dad, even though my daddy went shit. You didn't have to do that to me. We're going to keep that nigga, and said that's why the lady be having, goddamn it, what is called UI tract infection, have unexplained bleeding and fibroids, and said niggas be fucking her. Some of y'all mama, they say they into porn and be secretly selling pussy. Goddamn it, I'm selling pussy. I ain't got a rap. Remember them girls that made that song about 15 years ago? Said that's why you was lined up and been ran through, bitch, because I made sure you were goddamn it ran through, and your mama and other people in your family was doing spells on you, and niggas was doing spells on you. And so they made some of these women that's gonna listen to this go through bankruptcy, go through foreclosure, get set up on the job, having niggas set them up, steal their car, steal their motherfucking bank account, rob them in the house or set them up to be robbed. They are saying it's tied to them. Some of these babies are saying they curse their own motherfucking mama because she's a dirty ass bitch. And some keep mentioning somebody has twins. I said twins run on one side of their family. The mama, dad, they keep mentioning a set of twins that is here, and these twins are gifted. But then the other ones that are not here, some of them feeling real salty towards y'all mamas. Y'all, whoever y'all is, y'all better get this right and put them babies on that goddamn altar. Because they saying a lot of problems that these women have had with their body and fucking these niggas, and niggas whooping their ass and having the wrong nigga get them infected. They say y'all better watch it right now, especially if y'all dealing with a no good nigga that you know about. Because those entities are out, and those children, say you chose a nigga over them, or you got some other children over them, they can see the children. And they like, that bitch ain't shit. You should have had me. Because I'm better in mathematics and I'm a motherfucking scientist, and you agreed to bring me over here to do that shit, and you gonna pick them because she cute and she's a dumb bitch because her dad around, he ain't shit. Fuck you, fuck. Okay, I got some fuck. I've never heard babies talk like this. But the thing is, the body is a baby. The soul is old. One of them I see that comes from a constellation. One of them is 1,000 years old, and one of them is like going into the millions that are reincarnated. These babies off the motherfucking chain. But the thing is, I know they're not babies. I never knew that before. I never seen them like that before. They're entities. They're actually goddesses and gods, and they're saying they knew you before. A lot of us, they had relationships with us before. We came from other galaxies and dimensions. A lot of y'all were in war. Y'all were bringing change on the earth, because the earth in some ways it's been recreated before. It's a testing ground. People get too attached to it. They get caught in the illusion. They can't see what it really is. And they made an agreement to come back, to meet you at a certain time. Either you was going to come first and bring them in, or they was going to come first and bring you in. And they said a lot of these women have lied and said, that's all right, because I got something for this bitch. She already been, they said, some of y'all been having problems with your relationship and your womb. Nigga go up in you and bring conflict in your life. They're like, yeah, that was me. And I ain't never heard no shit like this before. I've never heard them talk like that. But then I'm separating them there and say, wait a minute, this is not no cute goddamn it, baby. That's just a body, a costume this motherfucker got on. This is an entity. And it's tied to the Venus constellation. So that will be dealing with Libra and Taurus. They're coming up very strongly here. Taurus, Libra, Capricorn, Virgo. And then some of the water signs, Scorpio, Pisces. See, I got to come back and deal with these here things. Put Black Eyed Peas. Look, I'm not going to get in that. That's y'all. But I would say the New Year's coming. I'm going to cook me like my grandmama always did. I ain't cooking them hog maws and that poking shit. I have me some collard greens and some black eyed peas for the goddamn New Year with some cornbread, goddamn it. Might have me some injera cut in the motherfucker somewhere. Because that is a tradition, Southern, and all this stuff is coming up by these Georgia portals. But then they're saying there are witches, there are warlocks here that are not from Georgia, from other places, bringing different forms of magic, opening up demonic portals here. So now that's a fourth dimension, fifth, sixth, seventh. They're taking me down to 10 dimensions deep. And all of our people and ancestors for Georgia are not in it, and they're not initiating it. And my Native American ancestors I'm seeing are not initiating it. She's above the fray, so she can tell me what she's seeing. And it's some police shit finna jump off. Crime, police, murder, mayhem, theft finna jump off down in Georgia, because some of these spirits that's coming down here don't belong here. They from New York, they from California, they from Philly. Some of them do not have Southern roots. Some may have island roots. Some may have European roots that they call black. Some, a mixed race, Dominican, African, Jamaican, where they feel like they have no connection to us. They're coming and they're bringing their magic. They're offering their services here. These babies are seeing it, well, the ones that look like them. They're imps. They look like midgets or troll dolls. They done released them out fucking with people. Oh, Jesus. They said some of these polices, fires going to break out of nowhere. Riots, war, rumors of war. She said that's a part of the process. All these levels of heaven and hell portals are open in Georgia at the same goddamn time, because some people are illegally opening them. See, there needs to be a spirit court for some of them, but she say this was not ordained by the high council or the Elohim, and there's another council. She's showing me several councils that you have to get permission to do that, but then there's a lower dark lord council that you can go against that and open that up. Also, you need to be careful who you deal with, because they saying we are dealing with the son of Cain. We're dealing with Cain, which will be the son of Satan, which will be Adam and Eve child, where God put a mark on him where you couldn't kill him, you couldn't touch him, but he had power. He still does have power. Some of these are children of a lesser God. They're the son of Cain. That would be the man of the earth, the son of the earth that's walking the earth to and forth, looking for a soul to test and looking to recoup on these women that did this to their children, or these entity beings that come in a child body. Yep, Enlil and Enki. I really don't have a problem with Enlil and Enki, but the son of son of Adam and Eve, Cain is a motherfucker. You know it's two Cains. It's a Cain. It's a Tubal Cain. Shit. And this is tied to them portals with the Pope. I'm calling them evil popes out that grave. Call them out their tomb. I got to see which one it is. Do you know they got a pope buried in 3 goddamn graves? 3 goddamn caskets. A triple casket. That's in one of them 5 doors that they had to break the cement and break the seal off of that motherfucker. What the fuck is this one? Is Dracula in this bitch? That they had to seal this motherfucker in 3 goddamn it coffins? The fuck? Oh, you know what? Let me go out of here. And let me come back in, take a picture off of here, because we couldn't get in the hub, because I had to give y'all the message coming from that altar. That altar is jumping, baby. They off the goddamn chain. A lot of them spirits is angry. And them entities is powerful entities that had gifts in them and illuminate the woman's body with gifts. The 9 months she carry it and you wouldn't carry it. Them entities mad than a motherfucker, man. They sitting down there. I ain't never seen no shit like this in my life with other beings down there. Oh, y'all, I love y'all. Y'all donate. This is tiring for me. This is heavy on me right now. God damn it. And I'm finna take a break for a minute and I'm gonna come back.